What is up, you guys, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be testing out some new e.l.f. products, both from the Mint Melt line and also just some new launches. So if you're interested to see which products I'm testing out and what my thoughts are, then keep watching. Alright, so I look a little bit crazy right now because I went ahead and did most of my base here because I'm going to be testing out these new e.l.f. products. So I'm going to quickly run through them and then we'll get to the application. So the first product that I purchased a few items from the new Mint collection and then a couple other items that caught my eye since I was on the e.l.f. site. Compared to just going to Ulta or Target, they had a little bit of a wider variety. So the first thing that I got was the Mint Melt brush set. So this retails for $8 and you get 3 brushes. So I thought between the color and just being a fan in general of e.l.f. brushes that it was worth a pickup. So it has an all over eyeshadow brush, an eye contour brush, and a blending brush. So I'm actually not sure if I even have any of these specific e.l.f. brushes. So I thought for $8, it's worth a shot. So the next item that I picked up was the e.l.f. Mint Melt Chocolate Mint Eyeshadow Palette. So if you know me and you've watched some of my videos, you know I am a huge fan of the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. I didn't get them because honestly, until those products, wasn't a huge e.l.f. fan, but I tried them for $3. Amazing deal. This one was $4, but it's absolutely beautiful and I thought it was worth a shot. So the next 2 products I got are also eye products and they are from the Mint Melt line and they are their No Budge eyeshadow. I have the colors Ice Cream and Melt With Me. So they are these beautiful, I'll get them like set up. So they are these beautiful shadow sticks in like a champagne color and then like a nice chocolatey brown. I'm really excited for these. I had a long time ago, it was a Mally Beauty eyeshadow stick. I use that thing every single day. And I'm hoping that these are that nice creamy consistency. Full for $5. I'm really hoping they work out. The last 2 items, at least makeup wise, that I got are the Lash It Out Loud Volumizing Mascara. I've seen so much about this. I saw it in Target and I figured it was worth a shot because people were absolutely raving about it. And then I also got the Enhancing Lash and Brow Serum. I was intrigued by this because both of these products were only $6. So I figured that it was worth a shot before I dive in and get a more expensive lash serum because it got pretty decent reviews. So I figured for $6, I'll give it a try because who knows, it could be amazing. I'm going to quickly put on some lid primer and then I'm going to jump into the eyes. Alright, so now that the lids are primed, I'm going to go ahead and open up the brush set, and I'm going to hopefully try and use these exclusively. I don't know if there is sorry, there's going to probably be a little bit loud while I pop these out, but I guess if you want a closer look at them, this is kind of a flatter brush and it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit larger, sorry. And then I have 2 kind of like a flat packing brush and then also one that would probably be good for applying like deeper colors. So I went ahead and primed my lids and put on just kind of like a base setting powder. When looking at this palette, I realized it didn't have like a very just like light nude color. It was only a shimmer light color. So I just went ahead with my tried and true other e.l.f. palette and I used this shade right here just to kind of put it all over my lid to set that primer. But next, and I did use the e.l.f. brush, this one here, which is why it is now dirty, but it actually worked really nicely to just put that powder all over my eyes. So I think next, to start this, I am going to go in with this shade right here. They don't give you shade names, so I'll just try and point out which ones that I'm using. So I'm going to go in again, I think with that brush that I used to put on that lighter shade and see how it works in the crease. Normally I would do more of a tapered kind of blending brush, so I don't really know if this would be an all-encompassing set. It's not like bad, I just think I like a more rounded brush to be going in and putting that color all over my lid. Yeah, I actually think that I'm going to switch to my tried and true Luxie blending brush just because I want to make sure that the look comes out nicely. And I'm using like, so I can tell if it's a formula thing or if it's a brush thing. and that just isn't the type of brush that I would normally use. So let me go ahead and just pack a little bit of this on in the crease and a little bit all over the lid. It's actually a beautiful color. It looks a little warm and dark, but it's looking really pretty and natural on the eyes. They had another mint melt color in a palette, but it was more like silvers and really cool tones, and I just don't really wear those, so I didn't want to buy a palette that I wasn't going to end up using. Okay, so just like the other ones, it looks like the formula is blending out really nicely. Now I'm going to go in with this brush again and just kind of deepen up the crease a little bit now that I have gotten more color kind of blended out, just to deepen up that corner a little bit. I do like the brushes. They're really soft. They have like a tapered handle, which is pretty nice. And the shadow is blending out pretty nicely. So far, I'm really liking this shade. So I think next I'm actually going to try, one thing I do wish is obviously because this has this green tone, this is really your only lighter matte shade. So I guess that is one downfall of this one, is that I'm gonna try and use the green, but I don't have like an in-between shade, a matte shade between this shade and that shade. So I think this is where I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna test out one of my shadow sticks, because I haven't put stuff all over the lid yet. So I think to kind of bring that lightness across my lid, I'm going to test out the No Budge eyeshadow stick in Ice Cream, which is this shade right here. Ooh, pretty. So this always makes me nervous when I'm like pushing up these products, because I'm so scared that like the first time I'm using it, it's going to get stuck. So I'm just going to be very, very careful when I'm doing this to make sure it doesn't get like jammed. But I want to show you how much product you get for $5, I think it was. Ooh, it's making me anxious. I feel like if you can tell, there's like a little, no, you can't. I was gonna say I can tell that there's, oh. Okay, so this is as much product as you get. I hope you are as anxious as I am having this be out, but I'm going to slowly roll that back down. But you do get a decent amount of product. I guess I will try and watch and see how much product you have to use and see how long that might last you. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this across my lid. So it's not the creamiest shadow stick. That Mally Beauty shadow stick that I was hoping this would be similar to was pretty creamy. So this one I don't think is super comparable, but I think that I think for $5, it's a good shadow stick. I just don't know if in the future I will mix it when doing another eye look, just because it kind of took away like some of my other shadow, and maybe that could just be because I shouldn't have done it in the first place. So I will go ahead and add it to the other eye just so that it's consistent. It's not bad, but I'm not thrilled. So let me go ahead and kind of fix this then, and then I'm gonna probably try and press in this metallic lighter shade. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna incorporate the green, because obviously my outfit today won't really go with green, but we're gonna try it anyways because we're trying out the mint collection. So I'm going to use this, I don't know if it tells me which one this is. Yes, it does. That's actually really nice. So it actually shows you, not, I don't know if maybe all e.l.f. ones do. It is very light. Okay, so right there, thank goodness the lighting is changing. It says it is the eye contour brush, which is nice because I was noticing that some brushes don't list the name of what they are on the brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this deep dark brown shade in the crease and hope it's not too dark. I'm gonna kind of tap that in there to see how pigmented it is. Huh. So it's pretty pigmented, I would say. I mean, honestly, from looking at it in the pan, it's coming across, I almost want to say like charcoal. Whereas it's this nice like chocolatey brown in the palette. I also don't think I like this brush for doing this in the crease. I have a Sigma brush that I actually picked up at TJ Maxx that I absolutely love for doing these types of like crease details. So I am going to go in with my Sigma E43 domed blender. This is the one that I found does the best when trying to put some deep color into the crease. It just blends it out really, really nicely. Wow. I'm kind of surprised because in looking at these shades, the first shade that I put on, absolutely beautiful. And now this one, I feel like it just, to me, it doesn't feel like it's like the same tone, where a nice, beautiful chocolatey brown would have been perfect here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my finger to just see how creamy these eyeshadows are. It's looking pretty good. I think I've probably swatched the other e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. Yeah, this is beautiful. So this is kind of like the coverage I was expecting to get from the shadow stick. Just like that really deep sort of metallic look. I'm just gonna put that in like the inner, I guess you could say 2/3, but that's beautiful. But again, it's kind of pulling cool. I'm kind of really confused because I will again show you up close. I'll show you up close. So here is again the pan. It looks like it's a nice sort of like champagne-y shimmer. And then if you look at my eyes, like, it looks cool. I don't know, I feel like it almost looks like silver, if that would make sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and like blend out these edges and then go in with a little bit of that green and put it over the shimmer that I put on. This is kind of like a hot mess of look, but I'm glad I'm testing it out and seeing how different the shades are coming out compared to what I thought they would be. So actually I'm gonna clean off that finger so I don't have any like cross, whatever it might be. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the green shade here, this beautiful mint green shade, and I'm going to kind of put that, I guess, over that other metallic shade that I just did and mix the two. This is like, it really is starting to look like mint chocolate chip ice cream, honestly. But if you were looking at this from the packaging alone, I mean, it's really beautiful. Like, look at that green color. Oh my gosh. I'm not normally one for like green eyeshadows, but this is like not the, like, this is not what I was expecting this palette to turn out to be, but I'm not hating it. I just feel like this is a palette where I would use certain shades in it, but I don't know if I necessarily would use them all together. All right, how can I like warm this up a little? So I'm gonna actually go in with that domed brush with this shade right here and kind of go into that corner and see if I can like warm it up just a little bit. So I think this is what I'm gonna do. It's a little, I would say a little messy probably, but I think it's just because how different, like you can see in the blending here, how cool that dark brown shade pulls compared to the warm of the shade here. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my eyeliner and I will be back to test out the mascara. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in now with the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. It has a more like plastic wand compared to what I was expecting. I hadn't really researched it too much, but I am normally a person that prefers like brush wands, but we shall see. Okay, so this is one coat. It could be because the eyelash curler is really good, or it could be that the eyelash curler is good and the mascara is good. So I think, so I can try and give as honest and as full of a review as possible. I'm gonna go in with this eye without curling it, which I hate doing, but if you're not a person that curls your eyelashes, I wanna be able to give an honest review on how it performs on non-curled eyelashes. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with no curled eyelashes on this eye and see how it performs to see if it like lifts them at all. now that they're like not curled, I can feel it kind of like, it's not poking my eyeball, but I can definitely feel like it's like getting, yeah, okay. So maybe it was just that the eyelashes were curled well, because I'll read the claims on what this is, but they're pretty flat. Like, I got no volume from that. Literally none. Like, is it just that I have like the straightest eyelashes ever? Or other people are just blessed with curly eyelashes? Because it seems like none of the mascaras that everyone has been absolutely raving about have been total duds on my eyelashes, and it's kind of frustrating because I want a drugstore mascara. That's my holy grail. Because so far, my only holy grail mascara that I've been able to find has been the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. That's like $22 a bottle. And I would really love to not have to pay that. Yeah, so there's like a little bit of fallout, but this is 2 coats on this side that was not curled. It's honestly not even lengthening that much. What are the claims on this? Okay. So the brush tip amps up even the smallest lashes, amplifying and defining brush, volume that hits all the high notes. This formula is if I could read. This formula's intensely rich pigments easily coat lashes for a bigger and bolder look. The sleek, flexible wand hugs every single lash with both vertical and horizontal brushes to amplify, define, and add dimension. I'm not seeing that. Final thoughts on all of the products. As a recap, we tested the e.l.f. Mint Melt kind of bite-sized palette. I really liked. I don't think that all of these shades work together to create a cohesive look like the other ones do. Almost actually I think every other e.l.f. bite-sized palette that I've tried, I've been able to create an entire look just from that palette, and I felt like it worked together. This shade here, absolutely beautiful. This shade here, absolutely beautiful. This shade here, just so surprising. It looks like a beautiful chocolate brown, which would go perfect with this warmer color scheme. And it comes out what I felt like, at least on my skin tone, as like a charcoal gray. So I think that for $4, if you're okay with having this be a palette that you use kind of separately, great. But it's still something that I absolutely would recommend if you've been like collecting all of the bite-sized ones, because the formulas are still really good, and this like minty green color is absolutely beautiful. So the next product that I tried out was, I actually ended up not trying out both of them because I wasn't super impressed with the first one, but these No Budge shadow sticks. But I'm gonna play around with it some more because I do really want to find like an eyeshadow stick that works. And so I still think that I can play around with these. I'm gonna do a whole video on products that I didn't initially love but tried to work with to see how I made it work, or if it's just, for me, a dud. After that, we went in with the mascara. I had a lot of thoughts on this. So I think it's a dud for me. I honestly might see if I can return it to e.l.f. I'm not sure if this is something that e.l.f. does if you've used the product, but this was a total flop for me. Like, as you can see, I tried like to fix it. I tried to make them curl. I'm going to try, once it's fully dry, because it's kind of taking a while to dry down, I'm gonna try and curl them to salvage the eyelashes for the day. But the e.l.f. Lash It Out Loud Volumizing Mascara, I don't think I would recommend this unless you have curly, long eyelashes that work with any mascara. But for me, I have decently long lashes, and they were pin straight. And those are my strong thoughts on this mascara. I guess I'll review the brushes as well. I really like them. I just think that they are ones that I will use as supplemental brushes, but they are soft, the handles are comfortable, and I think for $8 it brings it down to under $3 a brush. I would say give it a shot if you think that these are the types of brushes you're looking for. Or you could just always buy the individual ones that you specifically need, because they're very similar to just the plain black e.l.f. brushes that they sell in the stores. So those are my thoughts. I I don't want to say disappointed. I think that this look just went way differently than I was expecting it to. But overall, besides the mascara, I think that the rest of the products I will use again. So for a minimal investment, I think that I'm glad that I tried it, because until I tried them, I was going to be wondering what they were like. And now I have another bite-sized palette to add to my collection. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure before you leave, you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to turn on that notification bell so that way you're notified whenever I post a new video. That's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.